This was
Good,
a fun
guys.
evening.
For having me.
Thanks for being here. We appreciate your time, and we know you're busy coming up to the start of the racing season in general. How is that going for you all around?
Good. We've been lucky enough to get out and test at both Sunset and CTMP here recently, so it's been very good to get back to the track. It seemed like a very long winter, so definitely excited to get the season kicked off this weekend.
That's great. Yeah. We're going back to a track that you're pretty familiar with, and we'll get into that. What is something that you are looking forward to the most this year for the Pinty series?
I'm excited that we have this second dirt date now with the double headers, so that's definitely really cool. We had a pretty good car on the dirt last year, so I think it's cool that they added another points race in on the dirt. And then, I'm excited to get back to, specifically the ovals, but I'm hoping to try and get some more success on the road courses. Run well there the last 2 years in most road courses, but it'd be nice to maybe pick one up at CTMP or any other one and go from there.
Yeah, the dirt races. I hope they become a big centerpiece to our season here. And with you winning the first one, that's really special. We talked to you actually after that win, and that was super cool to be able to see that. And with the second race and with some money on the line here, what are you thinking is going to go down this August?
I think we did have some good racing last August. It was definitely hard to make both lines work. There was a good amount of cautions, but no cars really got torn up. I know there was a couple that I know there's that one big wreck in 3 and 4. But other than that, there wasn't a ton of carnage. So I'm just hoping with the twin races, guys will be smart in the first race. That's always a struggle. Like even on the asphalt ovals at Sutherland, like we had the big wreck last year as well. In the first one, so just hoping guys can kind of keep their head on their shoulders and we can be able to race it out in the second one. With the dirt doubleheader, we do have a day in between to get stuff fixed up if we need to, but it'd be nice not to be fixing cars and just trying to make them faster heading into the next day.
What were some things that you needed to change? I'm assuming you did in your driving style or habits to adapt to that dirt race and beat the Iceman freezing.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I think the big thing about the dirt is just it's all about being smooth. You really have to. You can't push it that hard, and I think that's kind of where I excelled on the dirt. With the fact that I understood how hard I could really push the car and to an extent slower is faster, and I think that was definitely part of it. I think we get caught up as asphalt drivers, we get caught up in thinking we need to run the dirt track like a dirt track like we see on TV, but the truth is with our style of cars that's really just not the reality of it. Our cars, we're not going to be necessarily fast or kicking it wicked sideways. We just don't have that type of grip.
Right. Well, that track, that was my first time there, our first time there. And it was such a phenomenal race to watch. We had such a great spot out of just on the exit of 2 up in, I think it's normally a TV camera stand, but looking at the run this year, the 2023 season in the Pinties as a whole, you've been around for a while. You were 2021 Rookie of the Year. You're not a rookie. You're not a sophomore, but you're not a veteran. Where do you feel you fit in the Pinty series now? You made a comment, just to add to that quickly. You made a comment to Jordan actually back in when DJ rattled your cage at Delaware. You had made a comment along the lines in somewhere of that you're not your brother. So I know that you have a long family history in the sport. So what do you do to separate yourself, and where do you fit in the series, or see that you fit in the series right now?
I think at this point I've pretty well separated myself. I've had my own success and won some races now, and I think the truth of the matter is there's about three different categories of Pinty's drivers. Like you said, there is the veterans. There's the guys that have been doing it forever. Obviously DJ fits into that category. You know, I think Lacroix was new like when my father was racing, but you know now it's been so long. He definitely fits in that category. Likewise with Ranger. And so on. But then there's also that different category, which I think I fit in. It's, you know, like you said, it's not quite a veteran, but not a rookie. More so a newcomer. But, you know, at this point, I've been racing around these guys for long enough that I think they understand how I race. I understand how they race. So, you know, I don't necessarily see myself as on another level than per se DJ or Ranger or Lacroix. Like I think I can race them and they can race me like I'm anyone else really. So you know, there's definitely the issues with being a rookie as I was in 2021. People like to push the rookies around, but I think until you have your own success, that's kind of a different story.
I that's great. I mean, I can't disagree with that. I would say Jordan and I were talking off air about it, that we both believe you're a very clean racer and a very fair racer. So there's never been a real reason. Even that move in 21, I would say that you gave DJ the inside line. You're very gracious. So I can't say that anybody should have any issues with you on the track. I mean, you're fast. You're in top equipment. You have top, you know, 3-time champ running the team, great crew. What are your goals for this race going? I know it's the first race of the season, but we only have 12 races and the points don't separate very much here. So what's a goal for this race? Where will you be happy coming out of this race to set you on to CTMP?
I think last year, to be honest with you, we tried some new things with the oval cars and we didn't have the speed that we had in 2021. I think 2021, I think every time I showed up at an oval, the expectation was that I had a car to compete for the win. And, you know, I definitely did. Every time we showed up at the track, we were definitely the fastest car. We had a lot of bad luck in 2021. That's just kind of how it went. 2022, I think we kind of just struggled. I mean, we were there on the ovals. We were always kind of running up front. We had a good run at Sutherland until we ran into some bad luck. Good run at Edmonton, too, until some bad luck. And then Sunset, I mean, we were quick, but we didn't have the winning car. We were a top 3 car for the most part off of raw speed. So I'm hoping that this year we can kind of show back up to the track and we've scaled back kind of. I mean, to be honest, we've scaled back to where we were in 2021 and tried to improve off of that instead of totally going a different direction as we did in 2022. So I think this year I'm hoping to show up to Sunset and just have a good car. I mean, I want to compete for a win. That's the expectation. I mean, it's I would call it my home track for sure. So, I mean, we're hoping to compete for a win. If not, we're going to be competing up there in the top 3, hopefully all night.
I think you can definitely do it. It was a great race last year. I was there. It was great weather. That track puts on good racing. I think it promotes good racing. It seems to it has 2 lanes. What makes a quick lap at Sunset versus a consistent lap at Sunset? Or are they the same?
Well, honestly, I think at Sunset's a different track because it's not necessarily the fastest car in qualifying. It will be the car to win the race. You know, when we get long runs at Sunset, a lot changes. So I think, and that's a little different to other tracks. I think as the years have went on, and as someone who's pretty much done a lap at Sunset every year since 2015, if not hundreds of laps, I've understood how that track has changed. It's definitely lost a lot of grip. So I think it's not necessarily what makes your car the fastest in qualifying, what puts you top of the boards in practice, but it's how your car is going to handle in the long run. And that's definitely something that we've focused on the last 2 years. It's something that I keep on my mind during practice, just to understand how this car is going to change throughout the race. And it's something we focus on in testing as well. So, you know, the big thing about Sunset is making sure that you have enough grip to get off the corners, because that's generally what you lose first. I mean, we're all struggling with bite. These cars are definitely very heavy, and we have a lot of power with very little suspension. So
Right.
the big thing is just making sure you can keep those rear tires on the car. But at the same time, you still got to be able to turn the corner and get the car pointed as well.
Yeah, and last year, if memory serves me right, I don't. I think we might have had one caution in the first stage and two, maybe three in the last stage, in the second stage. There were long runs, long green runs there. So, what have you done this year to prepare for these endurance style races, right? You were running late models, you were doing 100 lappers. I'm not knocking those type of races. Those are hard races. There is no doubt. But we got into 250 laps or, 60 laps or whatever it was at CTMP or Toronto. What have you done to improve your fitness or your performance for this year?
I think just being active has been most of it, trying to prepare for those style of races. The 250 laps, I mean, in the heat of the summer, it definitely gets a little bit much. But no, I mean, we try and, it's hard when we got all the snow on the ground, but trying to stay active, exercise, stuff like that. And that's pretty much all of it for the most part. When you have a good handling car, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. So let's move off of Sunset. I asked you what would be where a good spot would be for the first race. Let's look at the middle of the season. Where do you think you need to be, and where do you hope to be to set you up to run through to finish out strong at Delaware and get that trophy?
I think the biggest problem with 2021 and 2022 is that we had so much bad luck through probably the early and middle parts of the season. Last year, to say the least, it was a really up and down season. I mean, we started the season off with a big win at Sunset, and then we have bad luck the next couple races. We pretty much had bad luck on every oval, except for Sunset in Newfoundland. So. It's definitely a tough deal like that, but I think we just really have to minimize the mechanical failures this year, put ourselves in a good spot. I think the big thing with the Pinty series is that if you can run top 10 every single race, you're going to put yourself up in a spot to definitely be there for the championship or contend for one.
Yeah, and no doubt that's tough in this field of drivers. These cars are older, if I'm not, I want to be nice, or not, they're nothing. So they're big, heavy stock cars. It's fun to watch. Let's move past this year. Let's fast forward 5 years. Where do you see Treyten Lapcevich racing in 5 years?
I'd like to say down south in one of the top 3 series, but I think everyone kind of knows how difficult that is, especially as someone from Canada. I don't think our series or our racers really get I would say the awareness or the reputation that we should have. I mean, I think the NASCAR Pinty series has some of the best drivers in North America, to say the least. I mean, there's not many drivers that can be so versatile to run on both asphalt ovals, road courses, and dirt. And I think that's what makes us so good, and the field's so competitive, because I mean, everyone's good everywhere. There's not really a track where someone just completely excels. It's always it's a tough deal. It really is.
Well, I would agree with that, and I think when I hear them talk on TV about the first street race for NASCAR, I'm going, man, just none of you are looking up north. We've been doing it, not just one street course. We've been running out of couples. So I would agree that the drivers are top notch. That, with what you just said there, I kind of made me think, what is something that we can do to change that? Like, how can we showcase our drivers better, our racing? We have good racing. I would say we have some of the best racing. We don't have I don't find myself falling asleep during a Pinty's race. I do fall asleep during a 500-mile Cup race sometimes. So what can we do to showcase you guys, more, better?
I think a really high part for the Pinty series, or a high point in the whole life cycle, has been mainly when the trucks came to CTMP and we were racing alongside the trucks. I wasn't racing in Pinty's at that time, but watching my dad and my brother racing at that point, and seeing the Pinty's guys that kind of dabbled in the trucks at that time, because that's really is a good opportunity for Pinty's drivers to kind of shed some light and get their shot on an international stage. So I think that's a big thing that would be good if NASCAR could kind of take some initiative in that sense to get the nationwide cars, like when they were racing at Montreal, and the Pinty series racing at Montreal too. You saw guys like J.R. Fitzpatrick, Tagliani running in the Xfinity series, and that was some of the best opportunities that Pinty's drivers got, and I'm sure that led to more. In the sense, being able to see the talent in the Pinty series directly. So I think it'd be really good if NASCAR in the future could move along and pair us with an Xfinity race, or bring trucks back to CTMP, something along those lines that really sets us right beside one of the top 3 national series. And I think that opens some doors and some opportunities.
Are you perhaps hinting that there may be some possibility for you to go down south and do something maybe this year with your brother, maybe?
I'm not sure. It would so much be this year. It's tough because when you're trying to run for a top team, or do stuff in the States, specifically when there's so much, there really is a lot of competition for rides in the States, and it all starts with a checkbook at the end of the day. So you really got to be planning a year ahead. Unfortunately, we don't really have anything lined up for the States this year. Right. If anything, we might try and get the late model out again and go to, it'd be nice to get down to the Snowflake again. We had such a blast when we did that in 2021, so that'd be really cool. Other than that, we don't really have anything lined up, but it's definitely something that I want to do in the future, and I could see myself doing in the next couple of years.
Well, that'd be great, and we would love to see you down at the Snowflake. We love that we get such a good Canadian presence down there. I'd say that's one way to show off Canadian talent is get Canadian drivers into a race that's got a lot of eyes on it. I saw a post on Facebook saying that you have some room on the car, and you want to talk about that a little bit? I think part of our job, not just talking about racing, is helping you guys out too, and giving you a platform to, speak, so to speak. What's going on? How many are you looking for? A big sponsorship, full-time sponsorship for the year?
We've been pretty lucky with sponsors over the last couple of years running the Pinty series. This year we kind of ran into a little hurdle. We do have enough funding to start the season. We have enough funding to run most of the season, but right now it's just really hard to say if we're going to be able to finish the season off. So, saying that, we do have some space left on the car, but a lot of the sponsorship, it doesn't even revolve around the logo on the car. It comes more in the sense of social media and in publicity in that sense. So,
right.
Our team's open to that. We'd love to have some more partners involved. We're always running up front, and it's a good time to get international coverage. So, we're looking for partners to. We're kind of right now. We're kind of handling it on a geographical standpoint, trying to find sponsors more local to certain races, which we've had some success with so far. We've got some great partners lined up that we're hopefully going to announce in the next couple of weeks here.
Awesome.
And hopefully that's something we can continue leading on or later in the year as well.
Well, I hope somebody out there hears this and is like, just wants to put their name on the car and activate with you. It would be money well spent, because we all know you're top talent. You showed it last year. You won 2 races. You put it on. You took a pole last year. You went 4 the year before that.
10 top
we
10s,
need
7 top 5s.
Yeah, we need a driver like you in this series, a young hot shoe. So I hope we can keep you in this series all the
fun to watch
for forever.
Great to talk to you. Good to have around. Yeah, absolutely, Wallace. I completely agree with that. And yeah, we're going to be looking forward to watching you this weekend on TSN Plus and throughout the season as well. On your social, what's your social media? Is that again? Where can we find you online? Follow you, more of your awesome onboard videos.
Yeah, I mean we've been trying to expand this off season and bring a stronger social media presence.
Get a podcast going, man.
I mean that doesn't sound like a bad idea, but no,
we do it.
The big thing that I've been trying to focus on in the off season was trying to create a YouTube channel, because I understand that there's a lot of traction there. You can get not only the fans involved that have already been involved for the past few years, but also activate and engage with potential new fans that have similar interests. So it's always a good opportunity if we can do something like that. We're definitely going to have a lot more footage coming throughout the whole year, not only from testing, but also some race day stuff as well. So definitely should be cool. And hopefully we can bring a lot of recognition to our sponsors and all of the partners that help us do it.
Would you like to name some of those sponsors?
Absolutely. This year, we're really grateful to have both Delta Bingo and Foundation Building Materials back to help us. They've been great supporters over the last 2 years, and hopefully that's a relationship that we can continue to build on moving forward.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I'll be at Sunset. Jordan will be at CTMP. I'm trying to get to CTMP, but good luck this weekend. We are very excited for you to defend the race win.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, look forward to hearing your scanner, man. Take it easy.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.